In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, Assalamu alaikum, I am Dr. Usman, and you are watching Astrological Guidance. Our topic is wealth and astrology in anyone's birth chart. In your birth chart, or in someone else's birth chart, how can you find out how much wealth or money this person has, and how much it can be? What is the worth of this person? In today's topic, we are not talking about the sun in signs. We are making a video on how to find out a person's wealth in your own chart. How can you see your own wealth? How much wealth can you hold? And how much money can you have in the future? What is the worth of any person's wealth in the chart? That's most frequently asked questions by people. In this video, we will talk about mostly asked questions from the astrologer. One of the questions is that you tell me, how much wealth is there in my chart, and how much can it be? Will I ever be rich in the future? Or will I have wealth or not? So today we will talk about how you can understand by looking at your own chart, or by looking at the chart of your own close people, that in someone's birth chart, how much wealth is there, how much income gains are there, and how much savings can be made. So let's start our topic today, that how can we see wealth in anyone's birth chart? So if you put your date of birth, time of birth and place of birth, and calculate your Vedic astrological chart, online from any astrologer or internet, then your chart comes out like this. It has 12 houses. In the same way, in our chronological order, in the signs of the astrological belt, Aries to Pisces are also 12. Now these houses stay in their place. Now the signs can be like an ascendant. Like any person has an ascendant. Someone has Aries, someone has Taurus, someone has Cancer, someone has Aquarius, someone has Pisces. Now whatever is the first sign of the ascendant. When we were doing ascendant series, we told you how to do it and what it is. The ascendant that comes out of a person's time of birth. That ascendant always comes in the first house, whatever the ascendant is. Whether it is Pisces, the 12th sign will be written here. If Virgo, then 6 will be written. If Leo is ascendant, then 5 will be written. Similarly, if someone's Aries is then ascendant, 1 will be written here. If the ascendant changes, then the placement of the sign will also change. So these are some basic things. If we talk about wealth, if we look at astrological books and texts, the wealth that was considered in the past, was seen in first house, fifth house, and ninth house. Why it was considered wealth? First house is ascendant. It defines your personality, health, and overall life. If it was strong, then it was considered wealth too. Look at fifth house, because it is your education, knowledge, and intelligence, like as we were talking in our Ascendant series. Fifth house deals with your undergrad education, important years of education, when you to choose career. And now why they give ninth house more values in regards to wealth? Because it's your religious values, higher philosophical knowledge, postgraduate degrees. So in our astrology, the most important thing that was given in respect to wealth was given to these houses. But in today's time, if we want to see the wealth of any person, the actual wealth houses, the houses of money, if you want to see how much wealth is there, how much is its worth, how much wealth can come after that, So for that, the first important house is ours second house. When we were continuing our ascendant series on Aries to Pisces, we mentioned that the second house is your savings, all your fixed assets, all the things that you have, whether they are in the form of jewelry, in the form of hard cash in any form, or if you have property, the things that you get from your family. You keep them safe with you. When you get money from anywhere, this is also your bank account. So these things are represented by the second house. Wealth, your savings, how much fixed assets you have. And the second house, which is very important for any person to see. Most of the incoming gains in a person's life are his salary, whatever work he does. The money he gets from, that is his salary. So the 11th house is your incoming gains, your profit, your salary, all the benefits that you have in your life in the form of money, wealth, or salary. We see from the 11th house. These two houses in any person's birth chart. How strong will they be? Let's suppose if the Lord of the second house, for example, if someone's Pisces is ascendant, then Aries will come here, Taurus will come here, Gemini will come here. The Lord of Aries is Mars. Mars will be placed strongly in the chart. Whether it is placed in a friendly sign, or a good sign, or it can be placed in its own sign, these people have a lot of savings, and it is easy for them to save money, so they save money. And they have good savings, secondly. In the same way, if we look at the 11th house, we have talked that the 11th house is your incoming gains, your salary, because the 10th house is your work, and from work, your second house is the 11th house. So the second house, which is the 11th house, we always look at the benefits of a person, how much wealth he has, how much flow he has, how quickly he gets money, and in what quantity. That will depend on the 11th house, and the Lord of the 11th house. Which planet is in the 11th house in your chart? Which planet is in the second house? Is it in the friendly sign, or the inimical sign? Where is the Lord of the second house, and the Lord of 11th house? And the most important thing is that when we look at the chart, we understand these things in the basics. If we go to a deeper level, let's say any sign rules in the 11th house. Let's say in someone's chart, Aquarius sign in 11th house, and Lord of Aquarius is Saturn. Saturn can be placed in any house like 4th, 7th, or 8th house. There are 2.5 stars working behind the scenes in every science, and astrology in the same way. There are 27 stars from Aries to Pisces in total. We don't see them in the chart, but we know from the degree that in which star they are. If the planet is in a good and friendly star, or is set nicely in your birth chart, so you will get very good results. Now the second thing came similarly. If the planet is badly sitting in the star, and the Lord of the star is badly placed, then the same bad things will happen in your incoming games. Either it is the Lord of the second or the Lord of the 11th house. This is one thing. Now the second thing is that if you are looking at your chart, so how will you know at what time, in which time period do you have a chance of getting wealth? When will you start getting incoming gains? In which time period will you start having savings? Look in astrology, the time you are born, certain time periods are going on in our life. In astrology, we call it dashes. These are time periods. Let's suppose that the time period of Mars is going on when someone is born. After Mars comes the time period of Rahu, and after Rahu comes the time period of Jupiter. Now you have to calculate your birth chart from any astrologer or internet, so you will see in dashes that whenever you have 11th house lord's time period running, time period, it can be any planet like Jupiter, Saturn, Ra, Sun, or Moon ascendant will chain. And so will your sign, so it can be anyone. The Lord of the 11th house and the Lord of the second house whenever they have a time period of 11th house or second house. In this time period, you will majorly facing matters related to your wealth, family, close family members, brother or sister's marriage. Cultural events will be related to wealth. Along with that, you will start getting savings, and your bank account will also start increasing. Why? Because from the second house, you can see your bank account, bank balance, all the accumulated wealth that you have, all the FDs, all the safe things that you have, fixed assets that you have. In the same way, whenever in your chart, the time period of the 11th house will run, you will have a lot of gains in that time period. It depends on the placement of the 11th house's lord. Which planet is placed in the 11th house? If it is in the debilitation sign, or the enemy sign after the significance, we know that we will have more wealth inflow in that time period. Major period also has sub-period, and sub-period. It does not mean that if Saturn's period is going on, then it will be only Saturn's period. There will be sub-periods in Saturn as well. You can bring them in years, days, weeks. There are sub-period, sub-period, and sub-period. These are called interdashes. But mainly we see things in astrology from major dashes. Let's look at it from the anterdasha. And from the main dasha, it clears a lot of the picture. We have to look at it in depth. Okay, this is about your wealth, that the hard work that you do, the hard work that you collect through your family, or the things that you get, or the profit that you get from your salary, or the work that you do. This is about it. Now, if we want to see in someone's chart that how much money will he get in inheritance, or unearned money that you don't earn by hard work, you get it through someone. Or if someone dies, you get it in inheritance, or you get money from a family member. Or if you have a court case, you get money from there. We see this money from the 8th house. The amount of unearned money you will get in this life, that will be seen from 8th house. Now we will see these things in someone's chart. In anyone's chart, the people who have got a lot of money in inheritance or after marriage, it is possible that they have a lot of money from the marriage. See, this 7 houses of our marriage, and the second house of the marriage becomes 8 house. So from here, after marriage, we see our joint accounts, joint assets with your wife, or we get unearned money from 3-4 places. First, we get it from inheritance, or we get it from filing a case. Or number 3, if we get married, then our wealth increases. These things, this money, the unearned money, or the work you do on commission basis, which you get regularly. That money, the money you get from gambling, we get it all from 8th house, in which your hard work is not involved. Now, to find out how much money this man or woman has in his life, which he will get by sitting idle, due to his fate, or he has earned money, we will see where is the lot of 8th house placed. If any planet is placed in 8th house, then it will expect second house from here. because all planets have seventh aspect.
सेवेंथ एस्पेक्ट रखते हैं अपनी जहाँ पे भी बैठते हैं, जैसे कोई अगर प्लेनेट यहाँ बैठेगा तो वो यहाँ जरूर एस्पेक्ट करेगा, यहाँ देखेगा। इसी तरीके
So
से
he will
प्लेनेट
expect
यहाँ
it
बैठा
here.
हुआ है तो वो यहाँ
And the
एस्पेक्ट
second
करेगा।
house is your
सेवेंथ एस्पेक्ट
savings.
होता है आपके सेविंग्स का।
So people like this
पैसे
save a
रखने
lot
का,
of money from the
तो
eighth
आपकी
house.
जितनी भी वेल्थ आती है तो उसको वो सेव
So these
करता
are
है।
the three houses mainly,
तो ये तीन हाउस होते हैं
from
बेसिकली
which we can get an idea of any person's wealth,
वेल्थ या
or
उसके
his money
सेविंग्स
status,
का या
or
उसके
his
सेविंग्स का
savings.
अंदाजा लगा
The
सकते हैं।
purpose of telling this
ये
was
बताने का मकसद
because
ये
this
है
is the
कि ये
most
सबसे
commonly asked
कॉमन
question.
सवाल होता है जब भी कोई बंदा
Whenever a
एस्ट्रोलॉजी
person
करता है।
comes to this
वैसे
lodger,
भी
I
बहुत
have
सारे
also
लोग
been
हैं जो
asked a lot of
एस्ट्रोलॉजी करते हैं,
questions in life.
यही
It is
पूछते
asked
हैं कि
that,
तुम्हारी वेल्थ
what is the
कितनी है,
status of our
अगर आप
wealth?
अमीर होंगे
When
आपका
will we
वेल्थ ऐसा
become
कब
rich?
आएगा।
And when will we get
तो
money?
आप इसको अगर देखना
So if you
चाहें
want
तो
to
अपने
see it,
चार्ट को खुद ही देख
you can
सकते हैं,
understand it by looking
तो
at your
आपको
own
खुद ही
chart.
पता लगेगा
And
आपकी
how will
वेल्थ
you know
कितनी है।
about your chart?
आपको मैं
So see,
बताता
I
हूँ
told you that you
आपको
should know
कितनी
three
वेल्थ
things.
होनी चाहिए।
1.
एक टाइम
Time of
होता है,
birth. 2.
डेट
Date
ऑफ
of
बर्थ,
birth. 3.
प्लेस
Place
ऑफ
of
बर्थ।
birth when you know these
ये
three
चीज़ें
things.
मुझे पता होंगी, आप
You can
ईज़िली
go to any
गूगल
Google
जाके आप ऑनलाइन
and
हज़ारों
read
ऐसी
thousands of
वेबसाइट्स
free
होती हैं
birth
बड़ी
chart
बड़ी
calculators
जो आपको बता
online.
देती हैं, या अगर
Or
आपको
if you
नहीं
have
भी
any
होगा तो
problem
आप
with it,
मुझे भी ईमेल कर सकते
you
हैं,
can
मैं
also
आपको
email
ईमेल
me.
करके आपको दे सकता हूँ।
I can
तो
calculate your
इससे जब आपका चार्ट
chart
बन
and give
जाएगा
it to
तो
you.
आपको
When your
पता
chart
लगेगा
is
कि
ready,
बेसिकली
you can
सेवेंथ
easily
हाउस
understand the
किसका होता है
situation of your second
और
house,
11th हाउस किसका होता
11th
है
house, and
एंड
8th
उसकी
house.
सिचुएशन क्या है। इससे आपको
It will be
बेसिकली
easier for
पता
you.
लगेगा। तो
So our
हमारी
today's
आज की
video was
वीडियो
up
यही
to
थी
here.
कि
How
वेल्थ
to
कितनी है,
understand
ताकि
wealth
हम किसी
in
भी चीज़ को
anyone's
डिसाइड
birth
करने में
chart.
इसको किस तरह समझें।
I hope you
आई होप कि
understood the
आपको वीडियो
video
समझ आई होगी और
and
अच्छी
liked
लगी
it,
होगी।
and
और अगर
if
अच्छी
you
लगी
liked
होगी तो
it,
प्लीज़
please
वीडियो
like
को
the
लाइक
video
कीजिए, चैनल को
and
सब्सक्राइब कीजिए।
subscribe to the channel.
मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में।
See you in next video. Until then, Allah Hafiz, take care.